That's
the
it.
tail kind of does what it does. It looks like it has its own kind of line. We've got a round up there too. That's called a prehensile tail, which means that it'll work like another limb, and it'll actually hold the animal like above his head or something like that, or on the ground, and it'll hold him in tight, and so that he can use his other hands for other things. They're out there right now thinking I'm going to be bringing them treats or something. But spider monkeys only have 4 fingers on each hand. They don't have any toes.
What is it, David? St. Louis.
It's a narrow pass.
Alright, come on you guys. Move the pace a little bit.
Morning stroll.
That's right.
Are they still up in front of us?
They're all to the side.
Okay, good.
If you want to dress alligator here, baby.
Now up in front of us you can see some of our Canadian geese. Normally they give here around October and they stay here through the winter, and then they pair up, they mate for life, and so they have their eggs right around, see, April, February, March, right around March. They have their eggs, or they lay their eggs and they're born, and then once they're out there, little fuzzy guys, little brown fuzzy guys, they start teaching them how to swim. And actually we'll work in a line like that. They'll keep them in a line, the kids will. Have mom or dad in the front, kids will line up behind them, and then they'll teach them how to swim. Right now they're getting ready to start teaching them how to fly. And then once they get done with that, they'll be on their own.
Cool.
Now over here to our left, we have our Texas Longhorns. And we have 3 of them. Their names are Austin, Houston, and Dallas. And they are Saints fans, however. We even have paper bags somewhere if the Saints are playing good football.
Dagwa silang kuan, oy. Baka. Puros laki lang.
Longhorns.
Yeah.
Anyway, but those guys cruise all over that area over there. But their horns can get up to 10 foot in length from point to point. Now, if you look over here to the right, we came up, you can see our bars gibbons. And they're like a little tan ape. Now, the difference between spider monkeys and bars gibbons, the gibbons
Baboy.
do not have tails. There they are, right over here, right behind the elephant ears. The gibbons don't have tails, and so there's one way to tell if it's a monkey or an ape. And those guys get around. They can swing from tree to tree. They're from Asia, and they can actually get going about 45 miles an hour through the trees.
Wow. That's fast.
Now coming up in this area up here to the right, once we get past this big bush here on the right,
Ito sa bata,
this is our
oy.
African area. We've got 3 zebras, and we just had a baby zebra about 3 weeks ago. And then we've also got some other animals. See if you see the zebra over there. He's little.
Zebra.
Well, he's little. He's pretty good size already. He's over there. You start seeing right now.
Oh yeah.
And then we have one of our Watusi cows. That's Walter. He's one of our Watusi cows. The story of Walter's pretty interesting. He was over with the main part of the herd, which we'll see them in a little bit. And he wasn't getting along with the other boy cow. So we brought him over here. And then he wasn't getting along with the boy zebras. They were just having little issues. So we fixed Walter. He had surgery. Now he gets along with everybody. And he doesn't get anything except chew his own cud. He's got an easy life now. No responsibilities at all. We also got some ostriches over there. And we see them, we'll show them to you. Now y'all gonna ride the train. If you do ride the train, tell the guy he's got a great train ride. Dave's a nice guy. I always give him a hard time. The train ride's kind of fun. But you drive through there and you actually can see the baby zebra. Hopefully we'll be able to see a little bit better when we come through. Now over here to the right, we have our nilgai. Now the nilgai are an antelope out of the Asia area. They're the largest antelope in Asia. And we brought in a new boy. We traded the father off, brought in a new boy. And so we had the mother with her 2 daughters. Well, her 2 daughters were twins. So they just recently, the twin girls just had
It's a donkey.
Each of the twin girls each had twins. So it's really unusual. I think the twins having twins.
Right.
And I thought that the boy knew that I was too young, but obviously he's not. He knows what his mission is. So. Now over here to the left, we have the Mediterranean donkeys. These guys are both from Sicily. Their names are Jack and Jim. If you look on their shoulder blades in the front, you see how they have that little black line? Well, that goes across, and then down his spine, from his neck all the way to his tail, there's a black line as well. And it makes the shape of a cross. And they say that that's the same kind of a donkey that Mary rode into Bethlehem, just like Jesus rode into Nazareth.
Wow.
Those guys are fully grown, and they won't get much bigger than what they are. Yeah, if you look right over here to the right, we had a situation. One of the other guys hit a tree, tore the roof off. That was not a good day. Anyway, they're going to try to get that fixed eventually, but that's going to be sitting there in the discharge pile for a while, I guess you could say.
Right.
He always used to give me a hard time.
Straight ahead.
You can see over here we have some of our deer. We have so many deer out here right now. We have the fallow deer. They're out of Asia and Europe. Europe and Africa. We have the deer David, which are out of China, and then we also have some red lachois that are out in the wild, which is in Africa. There's only about 100 of these left. There's really not that many of them left, or we're almost extinct. However, in zoos and other sanctuaries like ours across the country, there's right around 1,000 of them, and they actually do reproduce well when they're in captivity. We have 2 females and a male here. They just recently had a baby about 3 months ago, and they're actually bottle feeding her right now until she gets a little bit bigger. But
Cool.
in the wild, they live to be about 19 years old, whereas in captivity, they can live to be about 20 to 25. But the biggest hunter and predator for those are man and lions, actually. Now this next area up here to the left, we have our scimitar oryxes. Now the scimitar oryxes are normally out of Saudi Arabia area, and in reality, in the wild, they are extinct. However, in captivity, like our zoo and other sanctuaries, their numbers are increasing as well. There's a gentleman in Texas and part of New Mexico who has a ranch, and he's got like 12,000 of those oryxes on his property. And
Earl.
squirrels. We've got a couple of them around here. One's named Geraldine. She is so friendly that she'll come up to you and want to get peanuts off of you. You can stand there and basically feed her all day long. When I was in the Air Force, I was stationed in Biloxi, and you could sit on the benches, and they'd actually come up and sit on your lap and give them M&Ms and stuff like that. It's pretty crazy. Now over here to the left, we have our common eland. And the common eland are the second largest antelope in Africa. We've got one boy, we have 2 females, and they just had a baby about 3-4 months ago.
Oh, the
Now they both look the
Yes.
same. They both have the same brown colors. Now the males, that bigger one over there,
Nagkuha,
obviously
uy.
he's bigger, has a bigger hump on his back, but his horns are more short and fat, whereas the females are more long and slender. Now that skin they have under his neck, it works like kind of a little radiator. It helps keep the animal hot or cold. There's blood
Ah. That's rad.
Right now, it looks like they're picking bugs or whatever, keep themselves clean, or finally groomed, I guess you could say. They can hold about 3 gallons of water in their feet and actually squeeze it down to get to the fish that they may have caught.
Wow.
Those are pelicans, big birds, big birds. Now up here, straight ahead over to the right, you can see some or other deer. You look over here, you can see some of them as well. Those white ones with the spots, those are the fallow deer. And we've got a bunch of little males out there. They'll be staying with us for a little while, then they'll swap them out and bring in some other deer. And they do that. We swap with this gentleman in Texas, and he keeps track of the gene pools and all that kind of stuff, make sure we're not crossbreeding inappropriately and all that kind of stuff. Now that big one over there, this horn's kind of like going straight up. That's one of the red lynchways. We don't have very many of those, and all those females sitting around them are part of his group. Now the deer Davids are the big ones back there. They're a little bit taller. But those guys, they can swim anywhere they want out here. Wherever there's no fence, they can swim there. And it's amazing how good swimmers the deer are.
That's me on Monday.
He just wants to drive and swim.
Hey, it's all good. I love the habitat. It's the swamp.